Now we're going to talk about power tools. A few rules we want to go over before using power tools would be these. You want to make sure that each tool you use meets OSHA standards. We want to examine each tool before every use, and you always want to wear proper PPE. When power tools are being used, you don't want to be a distraction to the person using power tools. When you're using the power tool, don't be distracted by anyone else. Stay focused on your work. There should be no horseplay. Don't engage in any horseplay. And the last one is consider the safety of others as well as yourself when you are in the shop using power tools. When using a power tool, you want to have a safe, comfortable, balanced stance so that when you're using the power tool, you don't get off balance or injure yourself. When you use a power tool, you need to make sure it is grounded, and also that you are using a GFCI protected power source. Before you make any changes to a power tool, like changing the blade or doing any maintenance on it, you need to make sure it is unplugged. You need to make sure that the power tool has all the proper guards in place and that none of the guards have been removed when you use the power tool. Use the power tool only for its intended purpose. When you start using a tool for something other than what it's intended for, you're running the risk of injuring yourself and others. Also, make sure your hands and feet are dry. If you have wet hands or feet, you're at the risk of being shocked. Do not use worn or frayed extension cords, and make sure your work area is clean at all times. These are some rules we want to keep in mind as we're working with power tools, both portable and stationary. This is a skill saw. It's a worm drive skill saw. This is just the angle or the bevel of the cut. We can cut different angles or bevels, and we lock it back in place. This is the upper blade guard, and this is the lower blade guard. And as you start cutting a board, it will move out of the way and it will go back in place. Also, this is the depth adjustment right here, and you can adjust the depth when cutting with this saw. And this is the base plate right here, and that is a skill saw. This is our cabinet table saw. Notice the orange feather board. And this is our rip fence, and this is the blade guard, and we will be able to stick a board in here and it will be held against the rip fence with the feather board, and we will be able to make cuts safely with this. This is our portable table saw. It is just like the cabinet saw, but smaller and portable. This is our sliding compound miter, and it is excellent for cutting crown molding. This is our drill press, and the throat of the drill press is considered from the post to the center of the drill bit is the capacity that it can hold, its throat. The drill press, you can adjust its speed by changing the belt here at the top. You use the chuck key to change the drill bits, and you simply just go like this to lower the drill bit into the stock you're cutting, and you can adjust how far it goes down, and you can also adjust the This is a router. It is simply a motor hooked to a cutting bit, and its purpose is to cut patterns in wood. We can adjust the depth on this by flipping this lever, and we can set the depth by changing where we have these nuts on here. And when you change the blade, you have to make sure that it's unplugged, and then hold these two nuts here with this and turn them to take out the bit. And the router bit, it has a carbide tip on it, and it stays sharper, longer. Power planers are used by trim carpenters. They're used for straightening, edge planing, chamfering, and beveling. This is power metal shears, and it is a tool that can be used to make cuts in sheet metal, metal strips, and special lightweight material like metal studs. There's all sorts of different kinds of staplers. There's staplers like this. There's hammer staplers that are operated by hammering them into the wood and a staple will come out. And there's pneumatic staplers. You hook it to some compressed air and you shoot staples in. These come in different sizes, and they're usually sized by the size of staple that goes in them. And these are excellent for putting in insulation. We've got many different kinds of pneumatic staplers and nailers. Here's one that would be used for trim work, powered pneumatically. It's going to shoot little staples like this. Little nail gun here, shooting little nails like this. And on all these tools you will find something like this. It'll tell you the PSI you're supposed to shoot it at and the minimum and maximum size of fastener that will go in there. And then we have a nail gun like this, still a trim nail gun shooting bigger trim nails. We've got two different coil nailers here, but this is a roofing nail gun for shingles, and this one is for siding. It's shooting nails flush into siding. And lastly, I've got a framing nail gun. This is shooting 3.5 inch or 3.25 inch nails in the 2x4s.